Ryusei.
Gaku Gaiden Pirates in Hawaii. I'm pro mixed martial arts 13-3 record, George Hardwick, and coach, and today we're going to be breaking down another Japanese kickboxing phenom who just made his debut in one championship very successfully with a win over Surian Lek. This guy comes from the Knockout organization and is incredibly skilled. Pretty much perfect kickboxing technique. And let's look at this drill that he's starting off with. So, I wouldn't let 99.9% of you do this drill on me. I'll let Harry do this drill on me, but, you know, it's still sometimes it goes wrong. And what he's doing is he's doing these high kick setups where the pad isn't there. He's just controlling it and touching it over. Obviously, the disadvantage here is that when he's throwing this, he can't practice it at full speed, but that's not the point. The advantage is, and we see Southpaw do this a lot. Southpaw, one of the GOAT high kickers, he was doing this a lot before his fight with Giorgio Petrosian. One of the big advantages of this is if you just hold your pad straight out, you are just whacking your shin into a pad. But one of the things you've got to do here is you've got to guide that shin over the shoulder. You've got to accommodate for the shoulder. That's apparent there in the open stance, and especially important there when you're kicking over the lead shoulder. So if the padman's standing southpaw and he's throwing a left high kick, he has to extra accommodate for throwing that shin over the lead shoulder. Plus, you get a lot of control out of it. See, when he's throwing that on his standing leg, that heel is well off the floor. I see a lot of people in the gym get lazy, kick with the heel on the floor. Not always wrong. Obviously, we saw Crow Cop doing that back in the day, but I think it's important when you're training. Look how he translates his hip to get full range. The toes are facing completely in the opposite direction. That means his hips have turned over as much as possible. Very sus. As much as possible, and he's getting full range on it. And he's getting that extra little bit of height by bringing his heel off of the mat. Much better to practice that way and be able to do it than always just kicking flat and not being able to do it. He gets extra range, extra height. If you look at some of the best high kick knockouts in MMA and body kick knockouts from Anthony Pettis, his hips are turned completely in the opposite direction and that heel's off the floor. Toes are facing away, heels pointing towards the target, like the heel and the standing leg. I'm sorry if you can hear that rotivator. I've tried to cocoon myself up in the Astra so you can't hear. He's going 1-2 into left knee. Very strange with the face masks here. It must have been from that era. I don't know what hitting pads with a face mask that doesn't cover your nose will do in disease prevention. But let's talk more about the combinations here. Put it back. So, we see Ryusei, he tends to use that left knee a lot. He tends to kick lots with his right leg and then knee a lot with his left leg into the open side of another orthodox fighter. See how he's using a different padman, and this padman stands orthodox mostly, but he will switch southpaw. That's a little pad tip. When you're holding pads for a right kick even, switch southpaw, and they can have a much better time kicking there. Let's break down these combinations just a little bit more. So, using that jab cross into left knee, cross into body kick. See how he just kind of leaves that cross slightly out. He doesn't pull it all the way back. If you go on same side, cross into body kick, because at the finish of that cross, the back heel's off the floor, the shoulders turn through, this arm is out, and it's ready to swing back. So you don't need to pull it back all the way. Whoa. See, there we go on the cross. You don't need to pull it back all the way. The right cross prepares you for the right kick. Brilliant combination to use against a southpaw fighter there. Now he's hitting one of these heavy bags, and these types of heavy bags that don't move, what are they brilliant for? They're brilliant for conditioning, and they're brilliant for the windows open. Harry left the window open overnight. Did he? Anyway, what these bags are brilliant for, because they don't move, you're not really practicing your footwork too much on them. Great for conditioning, great for hammering out combinations, because then you don't have to worry about the movement of the bag. You don't have to reset the bag each time. These are really great for conditioning, really great for end of the session where you just let all of your power out. Some brilliant training footage of Damien Trainer using them. Again, that same right straight into right kick. There he's pulling it back a little bit more because he's focusing on setting up. There's a little bit of a rock back onto his heel that he wouldn't necessarily do in the fight. It's almost like a little bit of a telegraph, but that's not the point of this drill here. He's trying to hit as hard as possible so he can get more conditioning on the joint and just practice more power, get more core work, get more drive off the standing leg. It's more like a power drill than it is then it is a pure technique drill. And you can see his gum shields in, so he's probably come straight from that into sparring. There he's going inside kick into left hook. Really good combination. See how he's not rushing his work. Gets his foot back. And normally I'd say get your foot back where it came from. So kicking, your foot goes back to the exact same place that it started. There he goes, left hook, boom. But actually, he doesn't really. He only pulls it back a little bit of the way. So normally I would say pull your foot back to where it came from. So his foot probably started over here, around this area. But he doesn't actually. He drops his foot almost into a square southpaw stance. So he is a little bit more vulnerable for this second. But the trade-off is he's going to be able to throw his left hook quicker because he's not having to pull his foot as far back. And then as he goes into the next part of his combination, his right kick, because his right leg's closer, he's going to be able to throw it quicker as well. It's not an issue going square for this slight second. With a slight second, especially when you're throwing these faster combinations from kicks to punches. Baz Rutten was very big on the square stance, but not really to throw a combination like this, more just to have equal power off both sides. So we can go back and look at that combination, these combinations again, as he's throwing. Got fat thumbs here, but same condition on the back. See, he doesn't pull his foot all the way back because he's loading that right kick. Right knee. Again, we've got a padman standing southpaw because he's probably trying to fight southpaw and he's throwing a lot of right kicks. If you're a padman, just stand southpaw when you're padding the right kick most of the time. It's very awkward to stay orthodox and twist across yourself to pad a right kick. Some really good combinations there. Right knee pushing off into right kick. He must be training to fight southpaw. See how he uses this double jab really well. This is how you should use a double jab against an opposite stance. So he goes inside kick. As he pulls back, let's get a little bit further back here so you can actually see. So more combinations here. Right knee, push into right kick. And then he's going to go inside kick. As he pulls the inside kick, he's going to go a double jab. But he's not going to overstep, because overstepping on the double jab, especially on a straight line, can leave you open for their counter left hand. They can dip off and hit that counter left hand very easily. So he's going to take shallow steps and get slightly around the side here. Nice and shallow. And again, if you're throwing a double jab after your kick, you're probably not throwing it for power. You're throwing it to disrupt their counter. Boom, boom. Inside kick, step with the double jab into the right kick. Nice bolo punch. Bolo punch really effective. Bolo punch, almost like the mechanics of a kick, but it's more like you're bringing your arm out instead of the leg. Let's see if we can catch the moment here. He's got a double jab. Slightly extended his stance. Got that classic foot outside position. I'm not like, you need the foot outside all the time. I'm not just a stickler for that. But when you're lining up this shot, it is much safer to get that foot outside, turn the toes over, proper buck your hips into that bolo punch. Boom. Let's go back a little second so we can see that full combination again. Boom. Yeah, bolo, really nice. Then he hits across, reloads his hands. Same side combinations, we always talk about that. Really nice. He's got his back leg a little bit further out and a little bit straighter, than a lot of times you'd recommend on a combination. But it just allows him to eject from range with trunk movement just a little bit easier. There's that bolo punch into the right kick, pulling it back. Not overstepping his jab, but still stepping enough to get that dominant angle. Body hook, really nice, and into the right knee. And see there, this is another thing. If you're going to push the pads, he's pivoting and using the opposite side. Boom. Uses his left hand to manipulate into the right kick. Don't use that same side. Don't push the pads down. If you're training with me and you push the pads down, no good. I'm not even going to hold body kicks for you. Using very, very standard opposite side combinations, left, right, and then mixing the kick into it. We always talk about that body hook into low kick on the back leg. Really good combination because the body hook, even if it just hits their arm, even if the block, it's going to send all the weight onto this leg. And you're close enough where you can launch a kick into the back leg, which is usually less conditioned. Boom. I put it back to the wrong point. I need a better video editor. Any suggestions? Put it in the comments. But yeah, body hook into that back leg kick. Then he kicks outside as he gets the angle, kicking into that hamstring area. Outside calf kick. calf kicks really well. That's what we notice about the Japanese fighters, is they don't just have a good calf kick. They really developed the calf kicks recently in a way that a lot of Thai fighters haven't yet. But they don't just have a good calf kick, they have a good calf kick on both sides. So it doesn't matter if they fight southpaw or switch stance. Oh, he's using the double jab cross. The little thing on the rhythm of the double jab cross, it's not bang, bang, bang. A lot of people try and get too much power into each shot on a double jab cross. But it's not bang, bang, bang. It should accelerate. I'll just bash my chest to you. It should be like... So the double jab doesn't allow any space for their right hand to interrupt you in the middle of the strikes. And then it's almost on the same beat, that second jab and the cross. That second jab as well, it's more of a half jab than it is a full jab. Just watch his double jab cross. Boom. Same thing with that rhythm. A lot of cross hooking, more set, double the body hook. Double the body hook, it is difficult to land, and I always get people training the double body hook for good reason. Now, it's not necessarily that you're going to throw it and land it in a fight, but when you throw that double body hook, especially in practice, most people's issue is they ride up all onto the lead leg, all the way onto the lead leg, back foot comes off the floor, they leave themselves exposed and they get no power. When you practice, and they might not realize when they're doing a single body hook, but when you do a double body hook, that's going to exploit that very quickly. So he's practicing that double body hook. I can only really think of in kickboxing like Issei Ishii, a really good guy for that double body hook who does actually land it in a fight. And then you can go double body hook. The next time you go body hook, head hook, sets that rhythm, and then you can throw them off and go to the head. I've been George Hardwick. Have a look at the Patreon. Give me some suggestions who I should break down next. Next time, I'll make sure that the window of the Astra is fully closed. Harry's put them all down a little bit. Why are all these windows down slightly? Anyone could have nicked this. Anyway, don't listen to that. Listen to my breakdowns. Go subscribe to the YouTube and watch the other ones.